Hello and a very warm welcome to Pathshala Bulletin. I'm Anil Kumar, and in this podcast, we are going to see some important current affairs of the day. Here are the highlights for the day. Judge death case has wider ramifications, says Supreme Court. MG Narega's registration needs improvement in Bihar, says CAG. Core sector grew 8.9% in June. Let's see each one of them in detail. Judge death case has wider ramifications, says Supreme Court. Spurred by the alleged murder of Judge in Jharkhand, the Supreme Court took so moto cognizance of the mounting concerns about the dangers faced by subordinate judiciary, especially trial judges in the line of duty. So what are the Supreme Court's observations on this? The Supreme Court would be focusing on the larger aspect of the case, including the threats and appalling working conditions in which trial judges function. The independence of the judiciary is the independence of each and every judge. The judgment has also pointed to a larger malaise of application of political pressure on trial judges. Judicial independence of the district judiciary is cardinal to the integrity of the entire system. The courts comprised in the district judiciary are the first point of interference with the citizens. If the faith of the citizen in the administration of justice has to be preserved, it is to the district judiciary that attention must be focused as well as the higher judiciary. The judicial independence in India. The concept of independence of judiciary, like many other concepts, derived from England. The role of the judiciary is to deliver fair and neutral decisions in accordance with their oath of office and their own sense of justice without submitting to any kind of influence. It has been well established about the Constitution of India does not exhibit separation of powers in an absolute sense. The prime work of the judicial branch is to protect the Constitution. It has been held by the Supreme Court of India that the constitutional scheme aims at securing an independent judiciary, which is the bulwark of democracy. This judicial independence is only applicable to the system of delivering justice. The executive has the power regarding the subject matter of the judiciary, including salaries and privileges. The objective of judicial independence is to maintain a fair democracy. The judiciary has been assigned to uphold the rule of law and safeguard the fundamental rights of citizens. If there is an intrusion of the executive in the judiciary, civil liberty will be compromised, as the executive head would be empowered with arbitrary powers. The approach to judicial independence of a state reflects the society's urge to meet the ends equal justice among chronic unequal. How the Constitution of India ensures the independence of judiciary. 1. Is security of tenure. Once appointed, the judges cannot be removed from the office except by an order of the President, and that too on the ground of proven misbehavior and incapacity. Article 124 and Article 217. Second, the salaries and allowances of the judges are fixed and are not subject to vote of the legislature. Third, powers and jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Parliament can only add to the powers and jurisdiction of the Supreme Court but cannot curtail them. Fourth, no discussion in the legislature of the state with respect to the conduct of any judge of the Supreme Court or of a High Court in the discharge of its duties. Both the Supreme Court and High Court have the power to punish any person for their contempt. Why judicial independence is needed? The judicial independence ensures public confidence as an institute of the last resort, where justice will be served despite any opposition and influence. People place high credibility and trust in the judiciary to get justice in case of any kind of misconduct by the executive. The later clause and confidence will be meaningless if executive interference is allowed in the process of judicial proceedings, as well as judicial bias over executive. MG Narega's registration needs improvement in Bihar. The Comptroller and Auditor General report for the year ending March has observed that registration of all potential job seekers, especially landless casual laborers, under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme needs to be substantially improved in Bihar. MG Narega, its issues and its significance. The Government of India has been running the world's largest employment guarantee program since 2005 under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It has been in implementation for more than 15 years and has delivered optimum results, although some issues thwart its success, which must be resolved. It guarantees 100 days of work a year to every rural household, with an aim to enhance the livelihood security of the people. The National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005 introduced the scheme. In 2010, Narega named MG Narega. The act actually covers all districts except for those that have a 100% urban population. The Ministry of Rural Development, in association with the state governments, monitor the implementation of the scheme. What are the key features of MG Narega? Demand-driven scheme. Workers will get the work whenever he demands and not when the government has work available. Employment allowance. Gram Panchayat has the mandate to provide employment within 15 days of work application. If it fails, the worker will get an unemployment allowance. Timely payment. Payment of wages within 15 days of completion of the work. In case of failure, the worker will get a delayed compensation of 0.05% per day of wages earned. Women empowerment. Minimum one-third of the workers should be women. Minimum wages. Wage payments should be according to Minimum Wages Act 1948 for agricultural laborers in the state. Gram Sabhas conduct social audits to enable the community to monitor the implementation of the scheme, and both the center and the state share the funding of the scheme. Performance of MG Narega so far. It has generated more than 31 billion person days of employment in the last 15 years. The government has spent over 6.4 lakh crore in the last 15 years on this demand-driven program. Since 2006, more than 30 million water conservation related asserts have been created in the country's rural areas. What are the issues with respect to MG Narega? Data on the impact of productive asserts. The government does not monitor whether a structure has actually helped water conservation. Further, there is no government data on the impact of groundwater levels, improvements in livelihood, etc. post the creation of asserts. Poor maintenance. Many structures created under MG Narega become defunct due to poor maintenance. This simply implies that the wastage of time, energy and resources. Inadequate funds. A huge surge in demand for MG Narega works has been witnessed in the pandemic times, but the government hasn't duly allocated funding in a similar proportion. Insufficient support. With the unemployment rate reaching a 45-year high at 6%, giving merely 100 days of employment is not sufficient. What are the suggestions to improve the MG Narega scheme? The villages must learn from the success of fellow villages. In this regard, every panchayat should ensure caution while framing and implementing the mandatory 5-year plan under MG Narega. The government must now measure the potential outcomes from the asserts created under MG Narega. For this, it must track the impact of water harvesting structures in terms of local land and water resources. For constant monitoring and maintenance of water work, the government can get the support of communities and civil society organizations. Adequate facilities such as soap, water, and masks must be provided free of cost to the workers during the pandemic. The government should provide greater funds to the proper implementation of the scheme. It currently provides 0.47% of GDP, while the World Bank recommends 1.7% for the optimal functioning of the program. The government can enhance the number of days to 150 to 200 days depending on the vulnerability in a particular state. The state can increase it as done by Odisha and Himachal Pradesh, which has added 50 days and made it 150 days in a year. Core sectors grew 8.9% in June. Output at India's 8 core sectors grew by 8.9% in June, but the pace remained below the production levels seen before the COVID-19 pandemic as well as its second wave this year, indicating the economy's recovery remains uneven. The core sector has expanded by 60.3% in April and by 16.3% in May, thanks to the base effect linked to the sharp contraction in output last year due to the national lockdown. June's core sector data once again been influenced by the negative base effect syndrome, which would continue to dominate the most economic data. The Index of Industrial Production, IIP, in which core sector output weighs in at 40% could grow at 12 to 17% in June. About the 8 core industries. These comprises 40.27% of the weight of items included in the Index of Industrial Production. The 8 core sector industries in decreasing order of their weightage: refinery products, electricity, steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement, and fertilizers. So what is this base effect? The base effect refers to the effect that the choice of a basis of comparison or reference can have on the result of comparison between data points. For example, The base effect can lead to an apparent under or overstatement of figures such as inflation rates or economic growth rates if the point chosen for comparison has an unusually high or low value related to the current period or overall data. Index of Industrial Production. IIP is an indicator that measures the changes in the volume of production of industrial products during a given period. It is compiled and published monthly by the National Statistical Office, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It is a composite indicator that measures the growth rate of industry groups classified under broad sectors, namely mining, manufacturing, and electricity. Use-based sectors, namely basic goods, capital goods, and intermediary goods. The base year of IIP is 2011 and 12. And what is the significance of this index of industrial production? It is used by government agencies including the Ministry of Finance, the Reserve Bank of India, etc. for policy making purposes. IIP remains extremely relevant for the calculation of the quarterly and advanced gross domestic product estimates. With this, it's a wrap of the podcast for the day. Bye for now.